Hello everyone, Cori here, Aftershock Day 3. I am here with Tobi from Trash Boat, and we are going to be having a good fucking time for the next few minutes, aren't we?
I can imagine, yeah.
Well, okay, it could be a questionable time. It is me.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Well, how are you surviving the heat? Like, you doing okay?
Yeah, I
mean,
the only thing that I hate about the heat is that it kind of elicits like an 80% set out of me because I don't want to pass out. Because I love throwing shapes, I love throwing my weight around, I like going crazy on stage as best that I can, and I did that for the first couple songs of the set, and then I was like, oh, I'm losing moisture at an accelerated rate, and I'm getting lightheaded, so I had to kind of tone it down just a little bit. But yeah, other than that, beautiful, love it, fantastic.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we're gonna dive right on into your guys' music. I love what you guys do. It's kind of like a security blanket music for me. It just makes me happy. I put it on and I'm in a good mood. It's that kind of music. This latest album though that you guys did, you kind of had an anything goes, throwing the boundaries out the window kind of mentality, and I love it. What was the catalyst that made you just decide, fuck it, we're going to throw all of the constraints out the window and just go for it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of our previous fan base is quite upset that we are not writing like pop punk or like fast pop punk anymore. I think our biggest thing, and I've said this a couple of times today, is that when we first joined together and we were like 19 years old, we were writing music so that we could fit in. We loved The Story So Far, Title Fight, Polar Bear Club, The Wonder Years, pop punk. And we were like, let's write music so we can play shows with these guys, because that would be great. And I'm still very proud of the music that we wrote. I love Nothing I Write You. I love Crown Shyness. I think they're phenomenal albums, and we poured our heart and soul into them. But we poured our heart and soul into them with the idea that we would be able to like tag along with a certain scene. And then for this the most recent one that we put out a year ago, it was more like, let's start our own thing. You know what I mean? Let's write just the music that we want to write, absent of any scene. We still had influences, for sure, but we weren't thinking, like, who can we tag along with? We were thinking, let's build our own thing. Let's use what we've already created and just write what we feel like writing at the time. And that's very much what this album was. We did all of the writing over Zoom, because it was during COVID, during lockdown, and then we only had about 4 or 5 complete songs, and we went to the studio. We had 2 weeks in the studio, not a very long time to record a 10, 11 track album. And we ended up writing like 4 or 5 songs in the studio. So it was just like off the top kind of music. And I love it. It's like, I feel like it fits me a lot better. I feel like I'm not posing anymore. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to write music for anyone else or to like tag along with anyone else. The tempo is all me. It's still heavy. We've still got like breakdowns and like crazy energy. Live, I'm vibing with it a lot more. I feel a lot more comfortable. And yeah, that was the catalyst. Just sort of just wanting to do our own thing.
Wanting to be yourself.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's important. Because, I mean, when it comes to like longevity of a career, it's always rooted in authenticity. The more authentic you are, the longer it's going to be that you're going to be out on that stage having a fucking blast.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
All right. And so you guys tackle a lot of kind of heavier subjects in your music, but you do it in a way that it's like deceptively positive. Like I said, your music, it makes me happy when I'm listening to it. Even though I know what I'm listening to, you're tackling some things like LGBTQ issues and things that are much more serious. Do you think that taking that approach kind of invites people to broach and grapple with these heavier topics because it is so inviting?
You know what? To me, they're not heavier topics, and that's the privilege that I have of being raised in the household that I was raised in. My parents are wonderful. Any kind of LGBT conversation wasn't a heavy topic. Mm-hmm. They were just like, you do you, dude, and that's what I wish for everyone. And that's the point from which I wrote. I mean, specifically, He's So Good. That's the only LGBT, and I hate saying it because LGBTQIA+. It's an infinite series, and you know, it's as individual as each person on this planet. And like it's like I say on stage, like I encourage individuality. Like, you know, be you. Personally, I don't identify with the LGBT community or with bisexuality or with any kind of label, because I reserve my right to do whatever the hell I want at any given time, and that in and of itself has no label. So I have no flag, I have no acronym, nothing, because it doesn't, like, I don't put that much thought into it. I just do whatever I feel like. And some people want a label and they want a community because they've grown up without any semblance of that kind of thing, and they've grown up in a very hostile environment. And when they leave that hostile environment, they find a flag or an acronym that they like, and they're like, that's me, I want that. And all of a sudden they meet like-minded people, and that's them. I love that. I love that for you. What I feel that can lead to is tribalism and the use of those labels to garner influence and power, which I don't respect. You know, if you're gonna have a label, but like, don't force everyone else to play your game. You know what I mean? Like, have your label, enjoy it. Like, you know, fucking have a star sign. Like, I'm a Sagittarius, but imagine if I was...
Sagittarius Club.
You know what I mean? I don't really believe in astrology, but like, imagine if I believed really deeply in astrology and was like, every time you say my name, you must refer to me as Tobi the Sagittarius.
Yeah.
It would be a bit of a chore, right? So I might not... There's sometimes when I identify more with the feminine, the masculine, like I feel like I walk the line right in the middle. That could be an argument for me potentially using they, them pronouns. The reason why I'm not going to do that is because I don't want to put that burden on other people. Most people don't fuck with that kind of thing, and that's so okay. They're going to assume that my pronouns are he, him, that's fine. Because my thought on this is so minimal, and it takes up so little of my brain space and my life in general, that I'm just free. I can just get on with it, and I can be and I can love and present however I choose, and that's what I wish for everyone else. So I love that if you've come out of a hostile environment and you found your people, I love that for you. But don't sink so deep into this idea of labels and this community and this tribe that you would then, you know, think that everyone else that doesn't think like you is a piece of shit, and demand that everyone around you uses your language and everyone around you validates your existence and validates this label that you found. Like, it's so much more freeing to just be like, yeah. Like, I'm, you know what? And I'm waiting. A question I often get asked is like, oh, it must be so hard. It must be so hard for you to be openly bisexual, or, you know, I say bisexual for convenience sake, because like, that's the easiest way to wrap it up, but like, that's not that accurate. I don't really identify with bisexuality. There's people across the whole sexuality and gender spectrum that I may or may not find attractive, and that's me. But like, I say bisexual, and it's like, I don't know. I don't. It's an
easier term.
It's much easier to say that, which I get, but at the same time, having this conversation with everyone would take ages. So I choose to just kind of just be like, yeah, whatever. And I'm waiting for someone to come and challenge me on it. Like, if someone came up to me and was like, hey man, that's pretty fucked up, like, oh, it's not natural, blah, blah, blah. I'm a confrontational guy. I love an argument. And so far, no one has come to test my G on this. And maybe it's because I'm a you know, like, 6 foot white guy, and people want to pick on the minorities and the people.
I can start picking on you if it'll make you feel better. Like,
please.
Yeah,
I love it. I love a good argument.
You totally suck. I mean, it's just terrible. Everything is horrible. No.
This is what I'm saying. But yeah,
your face is just no.
But that's my word, and some people might say, well, that's a product of your privilege, which I totally agree with. But I wish that lifestyle and my mindset on everyone.
See, you know what I love about all of this is you channel all of this, like the confidence that you have, into your music, and it is very inspiring for other people to be like, you know what? Yeah, it is okay for me to not give a fuck. And I love that. That confidence really does come through in what you create.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, not giving a fuck is easy when people allow you to be. If my parents were pieces of shit and gave me a hard time from day one, it would be really hard to not give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I would want to be more flamboyant in front of them just to piss them off. You know what I mean? So I understand the route that people take that gets them to that point where they are like so deeply invested in their identity and deeply invested in the idea of forcing validation from everyone else because they never got that. I get it, but even though I understand, I wouldn't necessarily condone or personally agree with the methods and the mindset that a lot of people who virulently defend the LGBTQIA+++. That's going to change, by the way. That acronym is going to get longer and longer and longer.
One of the best things I've ever seen about that acronym, it was on TikTok, and a guy just said, we should just add an S at the end and be like, all you straight people, you're part of the club now. And I love that. I loved it so much.
Yeah, it's almost as if we are all unique individuals, and we all have.
Shocking, right? We're all just different.
You know, people make up flags every day, and that's fine. Like, we're all allowed to make up our own labels. Mm-hmm. That's not a bad thing, but compelling the rest of the world to play our identity game, it's not good. It's not going to work. And some people are like, well, it should work. Everyone should validate me, and everyone should call me by my pronouns and recognize my hemi, demi, quemi sexuality, whatever it is. And it's like, no, they don't. They don't have to. And honestly, you should get on with your life without them, because you don't need them. Like, you should sort of just have that confidence from within yourself. If you want to have all these ultra specific labels that relate to your identity and your sexuality and gender, love that for you. Love that, but it's yours. Mm-hmm. It's yours. And I think being really upset when other people don't play your identity game is going to lead to just disappointment across the board. So I choose to abstract myself from all of that and just be.
Yeah, I love it. I dig it. I'm going to just switch gears just a little tiny bit,
sure,
because we are at a live show. And I want to ask, what has been either your craziest or your favorite moment from tour or a live show or anything? Because, I mean, you guys put on an amazing show. So what has been your absolute just either highlight moment or craziest moment?
I share a lot of crazy moments. I mean, sometimes, because we're a pretty energetic band.
You are. And I know you got to have some sort of story.
Yeah. Sometimes you touch that stage and you can tell from the off, like when you get out there, people are like shaking and they're ready to go. And yeah, there hasn't been one moment in particular that I can think of that jumps to mind, because there's been so many. Like when you get out there and people just start moshing, throwing shapes, and whenever I do a mosh call, you can see they're going crazy. They get involved with the crowd stuff. That's my life fuel. That's why I do this. Like, making eye contact with people who are in that moment of, it's like they're sober, maybe they're not sober, but they just have that shaky craziness in their eyes when you're singing a lyric and you catch their eyes and you just like grab the back of their head.
And you have that moment together.
Yeah. Just that in and of itself, whenever it happens at any show, I'm lost. I'm lost in the sauce. Like, that's the drug of all the drugs that I've taken. That's the one that has the biggest effect on me, and it's the one I love the most. And I love that I can provide that for people. Mm-hmm. It's like a warm my heart kind of feeling, because I know how it feels to have your favorite band come on and you know every word and you're climbing on people's shoulders, and then at the end of the show I'd like wait next to the merch table to see if they come out and be like, dude, sick show. It's like that was a like core memory feeling for me from maybe 14 to 22 years old, before my knee got really bad and I couldn't really go crazy at shows anymore. That was the best feeling ever, beyond any drug that I ever took. And now that I get to provide that for people, whether it's crowd surfing or singing a lyric back, or even just like being at merch and someone just like shaking my hand and saying thank you, it's like validation. I love it. But also, like, I get to provide a service. I get to provide value to people that I know had intense value for me. So it makes me feel good that I can give that back.
Yeah, see, I'm on the opposite, same drug, opposite end, because
Yeah.
I love being in the pit. I love crowd surfing. I'm the wild one of the group who got scolded by security on Monday for crowd surfing. So hey, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of those crazy people. So
I
thank you for getting into this industry and making your music. But I know you need to eat. So I'm not going to eat up all of your time, but I do have one more question for you.
I am in no rush.
And it is the most important question of the interview, and possibly the most important question of your career.
Sure.
What is your favorite dinosaur? Right. This is a hard one. You got to choose wisely, my friend.
You know what? I have given this no thought. I have no idea. I could give such a bullshit answer, and I could say Velociraptor, T-Rex, Stegosaurus, because those are the only dinosaurs that I know. That's like You've basically done the thing where, like, if I were wearing a band t-shirt and you're like, name 3 songs, and I'd only be able to name the singles because I don't know any cool dinosaurs.
I can tell you about a cool one that I think you might like.
Yeah, there's one, I think, a Leopleurodon.
I am so excited. I was just complaining yesterday that no one ever picks that one.
I picked the Leopleurodon.
Thank you for picking that one.
Yeah, and you know why I'm picking that?
Because nobody ever picks it.
No, because of a YouTube animation
Oh,
short.
Charlie and
the Unicorn, yeah.
On the way to Candy Mountain.
Charlie.
Oh,
So that's why that's my favorite.
Leopleurodon.
Leopleurodon. See, you're about the same age as me.
Yeah,
because that was
we just became best friends.
That's OG YouTube right there.
That is OG YouTube,
That's
and
very
I love
OG
it.
YouTube.
And thank you for picking that one because no one ever does, except for me when people ask me what my favorite dinosaur is, and mine is because of Charlie.
Magical Leopleurodon.
It's pointing the way to Candy Mountain.
What a fucking video. I love that people
love
used
it.
to put time and effort into stuff like that.
Oh, I know. It was classic.
Crazy.
It was classic. So, actually, no, now I got one more question. What is your favorite OG YouTube video? From back in the day when it was ridiculous for us.
Ooh. Oh, it would have to be a Filthy Frank video, I think.
Excellent.
So many. Yeah, I think I'll just Filthy Frank was probably my favorite, and now he's Joji.
Love it.
Loads of people just don't get that Joji used to be Filthy Frank, and if there's any Joji fans out there, YouTube Filthy Frank, because that's your boy, and his content was elite in the most outrageous, ridiculous, disgusting way. So yeah, anything Filthy Frank.
I love it. I love it.
Or the Maya He guy. He was great.
That is a good one. I'm a big fan of the Badger song, just for no reason.
Wait.
And the
mean the Badger.
Yeah, that one.
Old school.
And to annoy my roommate once, because they made me mad, I put that on my computer, cranked up the volume, locked my bedroom door, and left.
Of course. Of course.
Yes.
Classic.
Or Stickmen on Crack. Those are amusing.
ASDF movie as well. I don't know if they're still going. Shout out to ASDF movie. That was very fun at the time.
Yeah, excellent.
Wow.
Excellent
Trip down memory
stuff.
lane.
Yeah, I could sit here and do this all day. But seriously, I am going to let you eat because we don't
Cool.
want you passing out at all. But thank you so much. This has been great. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me.
No worries.
And I mean, I know the Knotfest fans do too. So definitely thank you. Thank you so much.
No worries. Anytime.
Yeah, sure.